Biz Dev Live. Weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz Dev Live. Weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz D with C. Brought to you by Cameron T. Biz D with C. Brought to you by Cameron T. This is business development, not even selling it. This is intelligent. If you watch it, I promise you benefit. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T.
Welcome to Biz Dev Live. Thanks so much for being with me. This is Cameron Toth, and I'm bringing you today how to update your technology. Now, whether it is simply your desktop computer or an app or payment technology, how do you update and stay up to date with your technology to please both yourself and your customers? It's a complicated thing to do. It's a high wire act sometimes, in the sense of, do I pay to get the cutting edge thing so that I can be up to date, or do I hang back and stay comfortable with what I have, with what's working right now? Or in that situation where you don't have a lot of money to invest, but you know that you need to upgrade to be able to do X, Y, or Z. So as we get into this, just a couple of stories of my own experience that I think may impact you on the payment side of things, or even getting back before payment, just managing financials, right? There was at one time I was managing all of the financial pieces of Toth Event Staffing with Excel spreadsheets, which are fantastic. And I got to say, in some ways, far superior to using a system like QuickBooks. A lot more transparent, a lot more controllable, a lot more easy to really understand all of the data, both coming in and coming out, because you're in control of it all. A control freak's wet dream in that sense, because you are really in charge of it all. But as your company gets bigger, as you're getting more payments in, as you're wanting to have the ability to send invoices out, getting involved with something like QuickBooks, where you have all of those capabilities, is really important. We take payments through our invoices. It allows for payables, tracking who owes on an invoice without me having to go check a complicated list and make sure I've scratched something off. And it also eliminates a little bit of the human error that can pop up in those sort of things when you're tracking everything on QuickBooks, especially when you have a large number of transactions, as we've had in the past, right? So there's one piece of technology. Just when do you make that change and that advance? The other end of it is things like phones. We had a landline, and it was like, do we switch to a cell phone? And eventually we switched the business landline to a cell phone so that it could travel when it needed to. So if I was out of town and I needed to go home with the VP, that it could. You got all of these different technological aspects of a business today, and it can be very confusing. But this is what I'll say in terms of how you know when you should update. It's usually when you're frustrated and struggling with some piece of your business, or, and more importantly, when a customer is asking for something and you don't know the answer, right? So I had a customer ask me, oh, do you accept Chase Pay? Do you accept? Now, to this day, we don't not accept Chase Pay, but it's not a payment that I offer out, because we have payments that are accepted through the invoice, and those are simpler. But can we accept Chase Pay? Well, once I figured out what it was and all that, yes. If that is the way the customer wants to pay, yes, we can accept payments that way. And there's other payment systems. We've gotten involved with larger corporations, and they want to do direct deposit, and that doesn't hit the invoice the right way. So we figured it out and updated our knowledge which is the most important thing as we get into the whole, should I update my technology piece? But really importantly, just sort of staying up to date with the things that are out there. Just got off a phone call with somebody that is working on graphic design. And if you haven't discovered Canva.com, you really need to. If you're working in graphic design, there's so many free tools that are available to you from using a service like Canva.com. And then it's not a very expensive thing. The days of Photoshop being the one place that you could go for really consistent, great photo design kind of elements. Now you have something like Canva.com, which is very easy to use. You can download in all sorts of different formats. So if you're looking for that graphic or image for your Facebook headshot, cover photo, everything, right? Your billboard on top of your social media profile. You can go in and look, find out what the pixel is, create a custom graphic in Canva that fits just that size so that you can create the image that you want for your brand. Really, really very simple. You can set up brand tools. To tell you the truth, I haven't really figured out all the brand tools, especially because I have multiple brands, but you can really design things the way you want to and very easily. And it's not that complicated. The user interface. So as you get into technology now, a lot of people will talk about UI, which is your user interface. So that is the screen and the tools that you're utilizing on that screen. That's your user interface. And then your user experience, how easy it is to use all those tools and what your experience of it is. And I got to say, Canva.com definitely ranks up very highly. I'm not being paid by Canva to recommend them at all. I've just been using it. This BizDev logo behind me was actually created using Canva. Really suggest using that if you're looking for graphic design. They are to my graphic design what Calendly has been to my calendar. So at the beginning of COVID, I was getting a different type of schedule, different way of managing the calendar. It was really getting crazy. I was setting up a lot of face-to-face appointments so that I could really reach out to people and connect, since I had some more time on my hands to do that kind of work, but I needed to manage my schedule so that I could get other kinds of work done. I set up different spots in my week aligned to allow for productivity and really make sure that I'm getting the most out of my face-to-face opportunities by setting aside specific time to stack those appointments. So I set up Calendly, and very simple to set it up. You can get the service for free. There is a paid version. I also use the paid version of that. I've just found that it's worth it. But you can set up the appointments so that it is a set time on your calendar every week, and it really matches up well and actually reads your calendar. So if you set something on your calendar, it won't allow somebody to set up an appointment during that time. Game changer, right? So how do you know it's time to update your technology? In this instance, if you've heard something about what I've talked about in terms of technology, and that sounds like a great solution, time to update, right? And these are great because they are low cost solutions, sometimes free options. You can promote on social media with something like Hootsuite or Instalater. There's a free option. You can go on one platform and post for 30 days out for free. You want to use those pieces of technology. How do you know it's time to update your technology? Because you're not taking care of or taking advantage of free opportunities to promote and market yourself. These are tools out there. And the more that you experiment and taste them using Gary V's terminology, right? Gary V, Gary Vaynerchuk, really just somebody that I listen to a lot on the innovation side and how to take advantage of the social media platforms. But a lot of the technology that's being moved around in these spaces can really be advantageous to you. So having your ear to the street to make sure that you're understanding, hey, this is something that somebody's utilizing. Asking the question, how did you do that? I really liked that experience. I really liked the way that that looked. How did you create that? Asking those questions, you can learn about some of these technologies and then take advantage of them. For your stuff that's behind the scenes in terms of your tools, if you're using your computer and it's frustrating you, it's taking too long, that may be a good indication, right? When you start getting impediments to your productivity, if the tools are getting in your way, it may be time to update your technology. Do you use a cash register in your brick and mortar? You may want to replace it with Square, right? If you are utilizing things that don't make sense, then maybe time to update your technology. And the other thing that I will say in terms of your broader business design and goals is look at a company like Smith Corona that designed typewriters and then word processors. They passed up the opportunity to invest in computing because they said, oh, another company did that and it didn't work out well for them. And then sooner or later they were bypassed, and now IBM and these type of companies and Apple are the dominant companies in the world. Don't let technology pass you by. Take advantage, take some chances in terms of using some different technology and going out and providing some different services. At the very least, you'll educate yourself. At the most, you'll utilize the technology and create business opportunities and profit that you never would have dreamed of, right? Take advantage of the learning opportunities that new low-cost technology can benefit, right? Can provide benefit for. I think I hit all of my big notes. I really look forward to your comments and questions around this. I know this is not the easiest kind of thing to think about in your business, but your IT strategy, how to evaluate your tools, basically look and see what's causing an impediment in your business, what's causing a challenge. If QuickBooks is hard, maybe there's another software that really will make better sense for your business. I looked around technology. I haven't moved, but I will probably one day. How much time is lack of innovation? It ain't broke costing you, right? Toth Staffing was operating for 9 years. And one of the challenges that we've had is, our model wasn't broke. So just because we're talking about technology, but your model, right? Are you doing some things? Are you experimenting with some services? Things that can help your business, and then make sure your tech is scalable, sustainable, right? So if I'm pulling something into the business, is this something that I can offload to a team member? Is it too complicated, right? Is this something that we can scale up? There's so many different things on this topic. I really look forward to your feedback. Send me a question. I'm going to have some IT folks on here and different business professionals talking about this. So I'd love to know what you're struggling with, what pieces of technology in your business that you're having challenges with, so we can answer that question. I can bring on a guest to really help you out. I look forward to your comments and questions. We are at BizDev Live, episode 91 on the march to 100. Very excited about that. It's going to be a great week. Talk to you soon.
BizDev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. BizDev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. BizD with C, brought to you by Cameron T. BizD with C, brought to you by Cameron T. This is business development, not even selling it. This is intelligent. If you watch it, I promise you benefit. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. BizDev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. BizDev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. BizD with C, brought to you by Cameron T. BizD with C, brought to you by Cameron T.